Can we ride in this moment? Can we ride? Nothing's stopping us tonight. No, not a single brake light in our sight. In our way, I'll be your passenger. You lead the way. You lead the way. I'll let you take the wheel. I'm feeling something real. I need to feel that breeze rush your feet. Something's gonna bring the change. Journeys we are meant to take. Something at the edge of space, calling us to fly away.
My name is Jamie McKnight, dealer principal, along with my business partners Terry and Adam Dodd. At West End Mazda, we're very proud of many things. We're especially excited to be Australia's oldest Mazda dealer, established in 1963. We're also #1 dealer for new vehicle sales in Australia and have been many times. And last year, in fact, we were #1 globally. We've won the prestigious Mazda Master Dealer Awards 17 times, along with multiple Dealer of the Year awards, as you can see. West End Mazda is a family-owned business, employing over 160 staff, including apprentices, sales trainees, and parts interpreters too. So if you're looking to join an amazing team, we'd love to hear from you. We're Mazda's largest parts wholesale dealer in Australia too, with our recently opened massive spare parts facility at Kings Park. We have showrooms at 2 great locations, North Parramatta and Blacktown, with the Mazda range on display and 100 quality used cars for sale at any time. And our finance teams are on hand 7 days a week to assist you with your new or used purchase. We have 2 very large service workshops servicing over 100 vehicles per day at both Parramatta and Blacktown. Booking a service is easy via our website or our smartphone app. If you're in a hurry, we offer Mazda Quick Service, which means we can have you back on the road in under an hour. And you can have a complimentary coffee and use our complimentary Wi-Fi, all while you wait in comfort. West End Mazda is open 7 days per week at 590 Church Street, North Parramatta and 106 Sunny Holt Road, Blacktown. Plus, our service departments are open 6 days a week for your convenience. So come in and experience West End Mazda for yourself. Next time you're thinking about your new Mazda, I'm sure you'll be very impressed.
Good evening and welcome to the Venom series here on Wheelybins TV, hosted by the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. This is race 2 of round 4 at Road America tonight. Big thanks to our sponsors West End Mazda and Limelight Motorsport for supporting us during this event, and we hope you enjoy tonight's broadcast. In the commentary box I've got Matt with me tonight. How are you going tonight?
Good, thanks Dan, great to be here. Great to get race 2 of round 4 of the Venom series underway.
Yeah, it's going to be a big race here at Road America. Something a little bit different. Nice long track, some good sweeping curves, a couple of little tight turns as well. Should make for a very interesting race.
Yeah, there's enough sort of complexity on the track to keep the drivers guessing, while also giving them flow, leading them into some corners with a bit more expectations than normal.
Yeah, for sure. And we've already seen some time starting to be put up there. We're joining the session here tonight with 15 minutes remaining in qualifying. A little bit shorter broadcast tonight, but we thought we'd capture more of the action. So 15 minutes remaining in the in the qualify session, then we'll stick into a 22-lap race here tonight. Looking at some times tonight, we've got some interesting ones there, Matt.
Yeah, sure do. Currently topping the session is Harley Haber on a 2:06.719. Benchmark has been set a little lower than that in the practice, so we'll see if there is more left on the track. It's only 20 degrees at the moment, so hopefully our drivers will push those times a bit lower.
Yeah, for sure. I reckon it'll heat up towards the end of the session. Actually, just looking at that, Duran's actually gone to the top of the list there with a 2:06.3, currently leading the top 10. Harley's dropped back into second. Jacob Knight in third, Kyle Stokes number 4. Jamie McKnight, he's been putting the pressure on from last week's event and has gained himself some valuable points against Duran. He was unable to make it. Duran here to defend him off from the titles. Currently still leading the championship, but the margin is getting a little bit closer. Someone else to look out for tonight is Kyle Stokes, currently sitting in position 3rd in the championship. He's going to be looking for some more points to rein in Jamie and Duran and hopefully kick up another position on the podium. But the Chief got knocked out of the 3rd spot in the championship last week. He'll be looking to regain some points also here tonight and make his way back up onto the podium step.
Yeah, it looks like it's quite a redemption race for a few of our drivers here tonight. Last week we did see Kyle was right up there but couldn't get past Jamie. So it'll be nice to see that battle heat up through this race tonight.
Yeah, we're looking at the lap times at the moment. Kyle's sitting in 4th and Jamie in 5th, so he's putting down some great times so far. Jamie, though, we know he can roll that car straight out of the transporter and onto the track and lay down good lap time. So we'll look for something to come towards him towards the end of qualifying. However, we do have our hostmaster online at the moment, and he's going to take us for a bit of a lap around here at Road America. Chief, you got a copy there, mate? As he may have his mic muted and he might not be listening to me. He's sitting in the pits at the moment, no doubt. He hopefully will take us for a run.
Eagerly awaiting to take all of our viewers for a hot lap around Road America.
This is what happens when you're doing live.
I am there. Right, Dan.
Here he is, the Chief's online with us. He's going to take us for a lap around Road America, mate. How's the track been tonight?
Track's really quick, mate. I put down a 207, I think 207.8, which was a new PB in practice towards the end there. So it's gripping up and looking good.
Fantastic. Well, we're eagerly awaiting for you to take us for a run around this track and show us what it's all about.
Yeah, no problems, mate. Well, I'll just let me strap in. If you can hear me okay, I'll be actually, once I put my helmet on, mate, I can't hear you.
No problems, mate.
So we'll get strapped in here. Can you see me there now in the pits, Dan?
We can see you, mate, waiting for a lap.
Yeah, no problems. I just want to make sure I don't get in anyone's way, so if I have to pull over and move out of someone's way, you'll have to forgive me. Really, really, really interesting track here at Road America. I haven't done many laps around here, but some laps I have done. Done plenty of laps in the Porsche. So we'll just make sure I'm not pulling out in front of anyone here. No, we're good to go. Turn one's deceptively fast. You've got third gear. Take a bit of inside curb, then right out to the outside curb. Grab fourth as you're going over the hill there. Down to turn 2, back to third gear. Try not to get too far out on the exit there because you run out of road. Long straight here. Right up through the gearbox up to 6. I think we get to about 260 before we're hard on the brakes and back to second gear for the left-hander.
Very decisive.
First of a couple of second gear left-handers around here.
Very decisive corner there coming up as you come over the rise.
Hard on the brakes again. Second gear left-hander. Careful not to run out of road on the exit. Third gear, just a little dab on the brakes. Very fast through here. Fast down the hill. Another second gear left-hander coming up. Got to be careful. Take a bit of inside curb. You don't get penalised. And short shift to fourth, very, very long right hand around the loop. Try not to put too much pressure on the left-hand front tyre. Then hard on the gas back again. Fifth gear, very fast right-hander coming up, just a little dab on the brakes to settle the car. Again, careful not to run out of road. Sixth gear, back up to about 270 down here before you're hard on the brakes again. Back to third gear, sometimes back to second. Grab fourth again, up over the crest. Take plenty of road on the exit. You can almost use the run-off road there. Then back to third gear. Try and be smooth onto the straight. Don't use too much curb. Fifth gear. Then sixth gear. Across the start-finish line. That's a lap of Road America. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the race.
Fantastic run there from the Chief, Mr. Shane Evans, just to show us around the Road America track. I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit different here in the broadcast. What do you think of that one there, Matt?
It was great to see the lap from how the drivers are actually attacking it. You saw Shane go through a few corners there, and I think I'll pick up a few tips from next time.
as we see him take the grass there and turn around. Thank you very much for that, Shane. Muchly appreciated, and hopefully you have a good result in tonight's race. Having a look at the results out in the race at the moment, the top 10, Duran still sitting up there in top, out there back in the pits at the moment. However, number 2, Harley, he's out there trying to push that envelope a little bit more to knock Duran off the top 10 spot.
I think it's going to be quite a willing battle with these two. They're gonna push each other most of the way through the race tonight, as well as Jacob, Kyle and Jamie up there as well.
Yeah, Jacob's done well to sit into 3rd position here tonight. Definitely going to be a contender. I think he's sitting in around about 5th in the points at the moment, so this will be a good little boost to his points bonus if he can get a good result here tonight. Tough track with many of the risers on this circuit, and especially after that, I think it's about turn 6 as you come under the Corvette bridge with that left-hander. Sometimes can sneak up on you if you're carrying a little bit too much speed.
Yeah, a lot of the corners you've got to over-anticipate in a way that they sort of invite you to take a lot more. It's a bit like Silverstone in that regard, where you're sort of invited to take a lot more road than is actually forgiven on the exit.
Yeah, very undulating, and like the Chief was saying, this first corner can sneak up on you. It looks quite sharp, and a lot of people will slow down a little too much for it, but you can actually carry quite a fair bit of speed through it, get that apex just right, and keep that exit speed good for the run down the straight under the Briggs and Stratton Bridge there.
Yeah, it definitely helps to get the car to drive off the corner well, and that way it settles so it's not riding those bumps in the road too much.
Some great liveries again tonight on all the vehicles. Awesome to see, supporting their team paints or the supporting of the real life drivers in the Supercar Series, which kicks off I believe next weekend with the Adelaide 500, so we'll be all glued to the TVs again.
Yes, if we're not watching Wheelybins, we'll be watching Clipsal. Oh, sorry, Adelaide this year. I can't say Clipsal anymore. And it should be good to see who fares out of the box fairly well.
Yeah, with the new ZB Commodores amongst many of the teams, and of course many of the Ford teams running last year's vehicles with the FGX. I think that the comparison will be good because the FGX is basically tuned and ready to go, whereas a lot of the ZB Commodore teams will be starting from scratch again this time round, depending on how much difference the aero is going to have on these vehicles.
Whether it's enough to give the Ford teams a significant leg up, I'm not too sure, but given how quick Tickford Racing and DJR Team Penske were at Newcastle, it's hard to see that they won't roll out of the box at Adelaide being just as fast. Definitely putting the pressure on the Nissan and the Holden people to make their cars work extra hard.
Yeah, it's going to put the pressure on the team. Having a look at McHale on the screen at the moment, slipped up into 9th position here in qualifying. Wonder how many people will suffer the case of the hashtag McHale on your tail tonight. He actually replied to me regarding last week's question as to whether he has to extend his lunch break for these later sessions, being he's based over in Sweden, and like a true racer he answers he doesn't have any lunch before a race because that would be adding weight to his car, so he waits to have lunch till after he's served a victory and he's deserved it. Good on you, Mikhail.
Put in a solid effort and deserved the extra weight. I understand that. A great race car driver's attitude to racing.
Tyson McAvoy up into 10th. Had a little bit of an issue with water pumps on his car last week, so we were led to believe. I'm not too sure if that's the case or not, but that's what Tyson is alluding us to say was the problem with his vehicles. He seems to be getting some cheap water pumps in some of these races, so hopefully he's solved those issues tonight and gone and got himself a genuine Holden Racing one for that Commodore tonight, and might survive a little longer than a super cheap one.
Yeah, he might need to get the genuine Holden one and might be able to last a few more laps than than previous races. So it'll be good to see Tyson out there punching tonight, putting in a 208.5 at the minute. So he's trucking along there quite nicely in that little group there of himself, Matthew Belton and Nikhil.
Sam Flintham in position 11 in the Gladstone Motorcycles entry tonight. Stunning looking car there with the white and blue and the orange stripes. Hoping for some good results out of him tonight. He's had a little bit of I think he's had a bit of a rough trot in some of these series. I'm not too sure, I could be wrong, but by memory he may have had a bit of a rough trot. I don't think he was here for last week's one, so this could be a bit of a catch-up session for him.
Could be trying to settle back into the car and see if he can match it up there with some of them. Being back there in 12th is still very competitive in this field, so it'd be good to see Sam get some decent laps, and that is a striking livery on that car, so it'd be good to see that punching up near the front end.
Just taking a look at Jason Lee, who had some bad luck in last week's race at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Unfortunately, had an accident with another vehicle that had spun on the track and put him out of the contention for that race, but he was doing really well at that circuit last week, so hopefully he can get a good result here tonight and make amends from last week's not so good race.
Yeah, be able to amend the wrong and try and get the points in the Venom series to propel him further up the board.
4 minutes remaining here in qualifying. Look at Greg Hamilton at the moment out on track. Not a too bad race last week. Just needs to get a little bit more pace into that car. Consistency's there. Tonight might be the night with a little bit more of an open spread of a track. Should hopefully spread the cars out a little bit. Although I have been spoken to the race control tonight, and last week actually the safety car broke down in pit lane, so that's hence we didn't have any safety cars for the incidents that we did have. However, tonight they have rectified those issues, and we may see a safety car in tonight's race if there are any issues.
It'd be good to see. Last week I think they spread out a bit too much, and unfortunately with the safety car breaking down it didn't help. But hopefully if it's up and running this week, we'll be able to get the field bunched up if there is an incident and get some serious racing.
Brendan Ryan in the pit lane at the moment, sitting in position 16 for qualify. He'll be looking for some good results. Definitely got the consistency down right. He's been here for most of the races, and that's doing very well for his point score in the overall championship. Hopefully we can get some good results for him tonight. Cookie, also very consistent driver. Had some bad luck last week also, and had to retire early in that race. Hopefully tonight, also another consistent driver, and may get a really good result here at Circuit Road America. Russell Boardman sitting in position 19, always does well. Good to see him out here on track. As we look at our number one so far, provisional pole holder here in qualified, Duran, and also our current championship leader. Good to see him back out on track. Had some issues last week, wasn't able to make the race. Could have been a transporter issue. I think it might have been actually. He turned up to the track and the guys have forgot to load the car in the transporter by memory. So good to see they've remembered it this week in the All-Star Racing Commodore.
I think forgetting to load the car would have given Duran the extra motivation this week to come out and stand up to Jamie and take those points away. But you can't close that gap any further in the overall championship. So good to see him setting the benchmark at the minute, and Jacob and Harley close in tow.
Minute 38 here remaining in qualifying. We'll check out the top 10 once again. Duran still sitting in number 1, Jacob number 2, Harley back to number 3, Jamie McKnight moved up to 4, Kyle Stokes in number 5, Michael in number 6, Colby Jones in number 7, Mikhail, he's on the tail in position 8, the Chief Shane Evans in position 9, and Matthew Belton moved up to position 10. Great result there for Matthew.
Yeah, so it's a close top 10 with only a couple of seconds separating the 10 of them. It'll be really interesting to see how they actually race together as a group when we wrap up our qualifying in roughly a minute.
22 lap race here at Road America tonight, so we're in for around about a 48-minute session. Looking at the times there at the moment. Assuming there will be a couple of pit stops in this race. I hadn't been able to get that information from the race controller, but I'm assuming there's normally 2 pit stops in these races just to mix it up a little bit and add a little bit of strategy. As we seen last week, there was a couple of cars pit early to take that early pit stop and maybe gain a little bit of track position early on in the race, and then there was a few cars that actually pitted quite late and managed to make it almost through to the end of the race with one stop having to do a splash and dash towards the end. The benefits were shown neither here nor there. Some of the early benefits was good to get out of the traffic and also probably get out of any hazards that might be on the track. Of course, that later hazard is, of course, running out of fuel before getting into pit lane or overfilling the car in that last pit stop and extending it by too much and losing track position.
That's right, Dan. It's a tricky balancing act for most of our drivers to play when they're pitting early, pitting late, and coming up with that fuel strategy while on the run. So a lot of them do a pretty damn good job of getting that right. And like we saw last week, it could work for some, but you really need to nail the laps you actually pit on and the lap speed on your inbound lap and outbound lap to negate any track position you could lose.
Countdown to the final lap here in qualifying session at Road America tonight. The cars that are out on track will be doing their final laps right now. We'll kick off for just a little quick short ad break. We'll be back real soon with the qualifying results and with the grid. Welcome back to the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic Venom series, presented here on Wheelybins TV. Tonight we are at Road America. We hope you enjoy tonight's broadcast. Thanks to our sponsors West End Mazda and Limelight Motorsport for assisting us and bringing us these races tonight and the whole series. After tonight we've got 2 more races to wrap up the Venom series, and as we just sent a promo there for our next exciting series, we've got an endurance series planned. In the Wheelybins Mayhem group, it's going to be 6 endurance races, 2 driver teams with 2 cars on track. It's almost like a Pro-Am setup where drivers will be paired together with laps based around the Bathurst circuit actually. So should be a good, interesting series. It's a great prize money up for grabs from our great sponsors, and it's going to be a good series.
I do have to say, when I first read about the upcoming series, I was rather tempted to grab the helmet and throw it on. It does look rather interesting and like a great deal of fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge event. It's going to be some long haul races, probably some of them averaging almost up to 3-hour sessions in total. So that'll definitely throw the cat amongst the pigeons with some drivers, but great incentives also to make sure that both members of the team finish the race for points wise, and also bonus points for running your team car livery on the night, and also if you're finishing side by side with your teammate also. So if you're finishing in position 15 and 16 with your teammate, there's a bonus 25 points on offer per race. So it's a good incentive for the guys to finish together and keep it together out on the track. As we see the cars starting to hit the grid, looking at the qualifying top 10, Duran managed to keep that top 1 spot. Jacob in number 2, Jamie McKnight's moved up to 3, Harley into number 4, Kyle Stokes number 5, Colby Jones into number 6, Michael Omios in number 7, Mikhail in number 8, Shane Evans number 9, and Matthew Belton in position 10.
It should be a good lineup in this opening lap. Heading down to turn 1, they've got a nice open track heading down there, so they should all try and avoid each other.
Yeah, that first sweeping corner, hold a little bit of pace. No doubt we'll see a couple of 2 to 3 wide as we go into that corner. Final couple of cars starting to join the grid. This is race 2 at Road America for the Venom series, round number 4. Here on Wheelybins TV. We thank you for joining us here tonight. Don't forget you can say hello in our YouTube chat. I'd love to hear from you, and thanks for watching. See all the cars starting to hit the grid. Race will be starting very shortly.
We'll be getting some lights.
The revs start to rise. We're about to go green here at Road America. Race number 2, round 4, green flag called, lights are out, away they go. Perfect start there by Mikhail as we see him come through the position there and pick up 2 positions off the start. Duran's managed a commanding lead into the front. Jamie McKnight's picked up a couple of spots there into second, with Jacob following closely behind, looking to dive up the inside on this next right hand corner. Hope there's no contact. We've got a few laps here to go. Jamie's been pushed wide. Harley's going to sneak up the inside there. Kyle Stokes keen to follow Harley through, right up on his bumper.
They're going to turn this into a drag race heading down to turn 5. Interesting to see who gets on the brakes and depends early.
Oh, as we see
Ooh.
Kyle step out onto the dirt and put into the wall. That's unfortunate. Jamie's also stepped up on the outside of the circuit. Mikhail's been a huge winner here as he steps up and now pushing on the inside of Jamie McKnight.
He'll be running to pressure him soon and get down the inside while Jamie's still trying to recover.
Looking back in the pack, the rest of the field looks like it was pretty uneventful for those first few turns. Sam Flintham up in position 9. The Chiefs being pushed back to position 10 here tonight.
I did see Warren Gilbanks getting spun at the very back of the pack on turn 1, so it looks like there was a bit of carnage up there. But otherwise, yeah, like you were saying, pretty standard racing at the back.
You saw them roll down the back through the kink. Duran's picked up a 2.5 seconds out the front there. Seems just step off into the kitty litter. Jacob's sitting behind him, chasing very hard. Harley into number 3. Jamie looking to correct those woes off the start and get back in a rhythm.
Yeah, it does look like from Harley onwards it does start to close up a little. That gap, the top 2 have sort of skipped away a little.
A little bit of breathing space up the front. Moving back to Colby and Michael. A little bit of a battle there for 6 and 7. You see Shane Evans and Tyson fighting for positions 10 and 11. Tyson's going to stick the nose down the inside but chooses to back out. That's probably a smart move. Don't think
Probably
he was...
wouldn't have wanted to stick the nose down there, because I don't think Shane would have given him a lot of grace in letting him through there.
No, he would have really wanted to put that car right up along the side of that Shane Evans Power Falcon tonight. Back to Greg Hamilton sitting in position 12, a little bit of a wheel lock. Wade Michael in 13. Frank Speed into position 14, Russell Boardman 15. Jason Lee back in 16. Adam has had a bit of an off there at that turn in the Monster Energy Falcons in 17. Warren Gilbanks also recovering from that spin you mentioned earlier. Kyle Stokes unfortunately has been shoved all the way back to position 19. That's not going to help him tonight. He's got a lot of work ahead of him.
It'll be a long hard battle for Kyle to maintain his positions back from here, but I'm sure he's got the speed in that Autobahn stick-it-up car, so he'll be looking to press on and make hay while the sun shines.
He will, and unfortunate to see Cookie and Brendan Ryan in the pits already this evening. So a little bit of an incident on that opening lap. Two laps down, around on their third. The top position's not changing much. These guys just settling in for the race.
Seems like the top four have sort of skipped away now and are starting to close up that battle pack, so that should come alive in a couple of laps.
Colby Jones in position 6 there in the Boost Mobile Holden Commodore, sitting on the back of McHale. He's got Michael sitting right behind him in the Mobile 05. Peter Brock Tribute livery there. Awesome looking car. Great little battle pack as we see Sam Flintham sitting back a little bit further, hoping to get into this action and gain a few positions here. Very new experience for McHale, I'm guessing, having somebody else on his tail.
He'll know what to do nonetheless. Maybe we'll set it up the inside.
Yes, we see Michael get that position up the inside there. Kobe just pushed back one more. Michael's looking very racy tonight. He's got some great pace on that car. He's made some good positions so far. Nice clean passes. The car looks fast, well poised on the corners. You see Sam has made a bit of a gain there right up onto the back of Colby now.
This battle pack, like the leaders, is going to start coming alive once they all close up and start getting into those tighter corners down near Canada corner and drift up Thunder Valley. They'll be closing up and this should come alive and be exciting.
You see Duran just get past Brendan Ryan there. He's come out of the pits. Warren Cook also back out of the pits and back into this race. Great to see that. 2.5 seconds now for Duran out in front. Back at this battle now with McHale gaining a little bit of a gap in front of Michael. Cookie just stepping over to the right hand side of the circuit, allowing McHale to come past. This will come into play in turn 1 though. Cookie will possibly slip back in behind McHale, giving a bit of a break to him.
He could make McHale's life a bit easier and make Michael's life just that little bit harder.
Oh, as we see Cookie grab some grass. Oh, that was so close. Oh, he's grabbed Colby. Hopefully he can gather that back up again.
Gonna slide through and thankfully doesn't take out any other competitors, but
so lucky to get away with that. Colby Jones there. A little bit of a tap from Cookie as he tipped the grass. Just dropped him back a couple of spots as we see Shane Evans come past him on the inside there. That could have been a lot worse.
yeah, it's more about trying to avoid the accident when it's happening. To try and maintain when you get back on the track and get your composure back.
Tyson back in position 11. Car still running strong here tonight, good to see. Up on the tail of Colby now as we see Colby going to make a dive down the inside of Shane. Oh, a little bit too deep, back out on the track. Well, that was close. Tyson almost having an incident there with Colby.
Bit of avoidance there from Tyson, and good to see Colby was trying to get the car back over to the left side of the road.
He's really going to have to regather his thoughts after those couple of close calls on this lap and put the visor back down and get the race face back on and focus to keep this car on the straight and narrow. He's dropped back quite a few positions now. Kyle Stokes making a gain up into position 17. Starting to throw some laps down, good lap times down, 2:07.9 the last time round. Frank Speed dropped back to position 18.
So this could really help Kyle, he being sort of left out there by himself. a little, might be able to settle in and just keep lapping. And eventually get back to those front few leaders.
Front few leaders fighting with themselves for 2, 3 and 4 at the moment. Jacob, Harley, Jamie. Mikhail's having... Sorry, go ahead.
It's good to see that Harley's come onto the back of Jacob here, so it's going to really liven up this battle.
So we see Duran's got a good 3 seconds on these guys now. Harley out wide to get every bit of track there. Great turn in. Looking for that exit speed to hopefully gain a little bit on Jacob, who's covering his position and line.
He's running on every inside line that I'm seeing there for Jacob. He's trying to keep Harley at bay here.
And Harley's just maintaining the track, I suppose, his track speed by not having to focus on covering his line and sitting right up on the bumper of Jacob. Bit of pressure as you see Jacob step off the racing line there. Harley does also, which has cost them both. Jamie's going to make a little bit of a gain here.
I think Jamie can just lick his lips and see that this battle could eventually give him 2 positions for free if he plays his cards right.
Yeah, but while these three are battling away, Duran's slipping away another half a second ahead up the front. That's 3.7 seconds now. Whoa, as we see Harley, a bit of a rear lock up there, avoiding the back of Jacobs, giving Jamie the opportunity to slip in underneath.
Jamie will just take the advantage of that. Harley was disappointed with himself. He probably would have thought he could pull it up a bit sooner. Be a bit more greedy on the brakes, but that's given Jamie the leg up now, so he's up into 3rd, and he'll be looking to latch onto the back of Jacob and be a bit of a nuisance to him.
As you see, Michael's gained a half a second back onto the Mikhail again, and to 0.8 now, chasing hard. See Cookie move over to the right, let these guys through. Awesome weather here at Road America today. A little bit different to the Gilles Villeneuve last week, where we had a case of the fog and a very cold track. Made for some good lap times. A little bit warmer here tonight. I actually haven't got the track stats here tonight. Have you got them handy at all there, Matt?
The track temp's actually what we had last week at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, which 20 degrees on track and 18 degrees here. We don't have the fog though, so the cars aren't looking as aggressive, but still looking good, no doubt.
Matthew Belton in position 8, looking to make a position there on Sam. He's in 7. Looking very racy tonight. Shane Evans moved up to 9th. Tyson's still sitting on the back bumper there. Colby's made his way back up to position 11. A little bit of damage there to that car from earlier on. Looking.
Kobe just breathes now. He'll be able to close on to the back of Tyson, and they'll really liven up that battle and maybe give Shane a bit of an opportunity to skip away a little.
Tyson steps a little bit off the racing line, giving Colby a little bit of a chance to close up.
It'll be on down here at Canada Corner to see who's got the bigger brake pads.
On board with Colby at the moment, sitting at 11. Tyson steps a little wide. Right up on the back of the Red Bull McAvoy Racing Team Commodore.
Slip back a little now, so hopefully he'll be gearing up to ride down at turn 2.
Checking back on Kyle, still sitting in position 17th, coming up on the back of Wazza Gilbanks though. He'll be looking to get this position into 16. Be very disappointed with that incident on that first lap, stepping out and collecting that wall. Lucky not to do too much heavy damage to that car and didn't lose as much time as he possibly could have, that's for sure. Managed to keep it out of pit lane.
It'd be good for Cole just to keep lapping, and if he's getting around cars nice and cleanly, that would be helping him too in his quest to push closer up to these battle packs like we've got here further in the mid pack and closer towards the front.
And the battle pack's heating up again with Jacob, Jamie and Harley. Harley's back up on the bumper of Jamie. Jamie's covering positions while also trying to look away past Jacob.
Jamie might have the confidence of knowing that Harley has made a slight mistake before, so he might not be focused, but as that car, the 21 car of Harley, is going to be looking super aggressive in that mirror.
Very fast too, as we see him step to the outside, knowing that Jamie was going to cover that inside, hoping to get the run on the outside. A little bit loose once again there for Harley. Really filling the mirrors though, that West End Mazda Falcon.
He's definitely on for it. He's definitely on for a move, and it's coming soon.
On board with Harley, right up the backside there of Jamie McKnight. Looking left, looking right. Jamie's trying to avoid him from getting the slipstream gain. When we see a move down the left-hand side here, right-hand side. A little bit of a touch on the bumper.
No doubt Harley's giving it everything he's got in that car. He's got nothing left to throw it. But Jamie's just sort of holding station with each other.
You see Jamie step out beside Jacob. Around the outside, can he do it? No, but Harley was looking to take advantage there. Didn't quite get the position right.
Jamie just steps a little bit to the right, in the left, sorry, just to cover off Harley.
It's given Jacob a little bit of a breather there. He was under attack quite heavily from Jamie. The focus is on. It's our race leaders on lap 8 at the moment, 22 laps here tonight. Pit stops will be rolling in soon, no doubt. We're looking for a little bit of juice and maybe a fresh set of tyres.
I'll be wanting to attack the track with everything they can throw at it tonight, be it through fuel saving or through some tyres.
Colby Jones has managed to make it past Tyson, back up into position 7. As I believe Shane the Chief Evans has done his undercut trick once again and already moved in to have his pit stop early on. Always very confident there on the early pit stops there, Shane. Normally works out for him too, ends up gaining a little bit more track position. 5.8.
That's only help him.
5.8 seconds now our leaders stripped out to. Duran and the All-Star Commodore tonight putting in a stellar effort. As we see Tyson hit pit lane also. Possibly following the lead of a few others. Get that pit stop out of the way, get back out on the track. Mikhail got some breathing space all around him, chasing on the back of this battle pack for 4th. Got about 8. Go again.
It's going to be good for Mikhail to have a really good run here, buy himself into a solitude, running for a great position. Really being able to press the laps out and see if he can do the overcut on the fuel.
Yeah, well, he didn't have good luck last week. He suffered some heavy damage in the first few laps of the Gilles Villeneuve circuit, and had to fight with that car for the first half of that race till the first pit stop to get that repair done. So he'll be happy to have a straight car so far tonight. I won't put the commentator's curse on him. Matthew Belton sitting in position 6th. Great WPC concreting Commodore Good effort from him being up this far. Back to Jason Lee. A lot of damage to the front of that Commodore. Didn't have a great run last week. He was looking for some improvements here this week, but so far that damage is a telling story. You have to get into the pits very shortly and get that car repaired. Sitting in position 10 at the moment. Kyle Stokes has moved up to position 11. Also already done his pit stop, so he's one of the first cars in the in the top 10, or he's just outside the top 10 that has done these pit stop. Quick one too. Only in the lane for 37 seconds, which was a very fast stop. Most of the other cars being anywhere between 42 and 49 seconds in pit lane, so quick stop there for Kyle.
Being such an early stop in the race, he might have elected not to take a few things in his stop. He might have just taken some fuel and repaired the damage. He might need to still stop again to get on par with the leaders, or he might need to close the gap when the leaders do eventually peel off the road.
The leaders are hitting pit lane now. Duran is in the pit lane. Jacob, Harley, Mikhail, Matthew all hitting pit lane. Jamie and Corby are the two that have chosen to stay out front of the lap. We did see this from Jamie last week. He held out right till the last moment of that stint to be able to come in for his first pit stop. It did pay dividends for him, so we'll see how it works out for him again tonight. As we see Kyle shoot by there on the outside of Duran as he exits pit lane.
The winner's trophy doesn't lie. That was a superb strategy last week from Jamie, so let's see if it pays dividends this week.
He'll be happy to have a bit of clean air out there at the moment in the track. His race has been tied up between some cars, so a little bit of time to refocus on his technique around this circuit without having a car in front or behind him. Interesting to see where, after he pits, how he comes out with track position. Corby doing a great job in second at the moment, still yet to pit. They're the last of the two cars still to do their pit stop for this stint.
I guess it would be rather frustrating for Jamie to come right out straight back into that battle there with Harley and Jacob.
Certainly would be, but someone who's going to be in the battle as well is Kyle. He's made a huge big leap there with that pit stop, taking possibly just taking some fuel. Could be hurting in the tyre department, but he's going to be right there as well when Jamie pops out. Duran sitting just behind him.
And as we see, Jamie hit the lane now, so he's going to mirror the front runners, and that should put him out roughly with the rest of the pack.
We're looking as the time difference chews up. He's got I'll just read the gaps. About 18 seconds, I think, back to Colby. Back to Kyle. You see Corby just hit the pit lane also. Kyle just coming down the main straight now. Jamie still not exiting pit lane. Duran also passing him in pit lane. Jamie McKnight just leaving pits now. It's come out behind Harley, and Sam Flintham's also going to get the pass on the outside there. Jamie's going to have to yield and let him through. Actually lost the position there with that pit stop. Harley and Jacob have moved up.
Jamie probably should have stayed out a bit longer there and tried to negate that on not knowing his fuel number. He might have been just on the limit, so that's probably just hampered his time, but once those tyres are back up to 10, no doubt he'll be on the back of Sam.
There was a 3-second difference. He was 3 seconds longer than both Harley and Jacob in these pit lane transitions, so that's where that 3 seconds has come from and dropped him back. Possibly slowing a little earlier into pit lane, cost him a bit of time. Kyle still out in front at the moment. Of course, he did take that shorter pit stop. Duran sitting right up on the bumper though. I think Kyle may have skipped on the tyre change that last, and it's possibly starting to hurt him now.
with most of these cars stopping around the lap 9-10 mark, will we be getting to closer to the end of our 22 laps here tonight and seeing them stop again for some tyres or a splash and dash at the end?
Yeah, looking at those fuel numbers, although we do have the chance of a safety car which could pick up a few laps for these guys.
They could throw another curveball in the mix and really bunch them up and give them all a free kick if they're all under pressure.
You see Kyle hit the pit lane once again. Obviously those tyres are hurting on that car. Gonna have to take that hit now. Although with this fill and being on lap 12, possibly we'll be able to make it through to the end of the race, maybe.
If he's able to make that over a full stint, then that should put him in a good position close to the end of our race. Like I say, a possible safety car could throw a spanner in the works, but being at the front of the pack will help him, no doubt.
See Jamie make the inside move there on Sam down on that turn 1. Nice clean pass. Jamie's got the eyes on now, focusing on Harley up in front of him. Mikhail's dropped back to position 6 after a bit of this swapping around. Still got a fair bit of breathing space around him. Michael in 7, Shane Evans in position 8, Matthew Belton in 9, and Tyson up into position 10.
So meanwhile, Duran's just going through the carousel with a bit of room to move, and Jacob and Harley have got a bit of separation between them now, so they look to be settling into their rhythm after these fresh tyres and fuel loads have gone on, and that'll close up pretty quickly given that Jamie is now coming into that battle.
Yeah, Jamie's starting to close that gap now between him and Harley. 5 seconds the difference.
He's really created quite a gap. Oh, as he just has a little bit of a drift through that corner. That's...
Oh,
and we've got a safety car.
Safety car has been called.
So while Cole might be buried in the back of the pack, he is full of fuel and fairly fresh out of his stop, so this could help him.
Let's try fresh tyres, full tank of juice, right up onto the back of the pack. To the Porsche iRacing safety car out on track. Take this opportunity to take a quick break. We'll be back at the Road America very, very shortly.
Welcome to West End Mazda. My name is Jamie McKnight, dealer principal, along with my business partners Terry and Adam Dodd. At West End Mazda we're very proud of many things. We're especially excited to be Australia's oldest Mazda dealer, established in 1963. We're also #1 dealer for new vehicle sales in Australia and have been many times. And last year in fact, we were #1 globally. We've won the prestigious Mazda Master Dealer Awards 17 times, along with multiple Dealer of the Year awards, as you can see. West End Mazda is a family-owned business employing over 160 staff, including apprentices, sales trainees and parts interpreters too. So if you're looking to join an amazing team, we'd love to hear from you. We're Mazda's largest parts wholesale dealer in Australia too, with our recently opened massive spare parts facility at Kings Park. We have showrooms at 2 great locations, North Parramatta and Blacktown, with the Mazda range on display and 100 quality used cars for sale at any time. And our finance teams are on hand 7 days a week to assist you with your new or used purchase. We have 2 very large service workshops servicing over 100 vehicles per day at both Parramatta and Blacktown. Booking a service is easy via our website or our smartphone app. If you're in a hurry, we offer Mazda Quick Service, which means we can have you back on the road in under an hour. And you can have a complimentary coffee and use our complimentary Wi-Fi all while you wait in comfort. West End Mazda is open 7 days per week at 590 Church Street, North Parramatta and 106 Sunny Holt Road, Blacktown. Plus, our service departments are open 6 days a week for your convenience. So come in and experience West End Mazda for yourself. Next time you're thinking about your new Mazda, I'm sure you'll be very impressed.
Welcome back here to Road America, where we are under safety car conditions at the moment. A couple of cars have just dived into the pit lane. Take the most of this little bit of a safety car incident, and it's going to bunch this field right back up. Lap number 14 for the leader at the moment. It's going to be a fast and furious race to the end of the session, that's for sure. Matt Norris, great racing so far this evening.
It's been an interesting race, and this safety car is only going to pack it up just that bit tighter and make it just a bit more interesting. Jacob, Harley and Jamie have all been locked in a fierce battle, so having them right on the back of our leader Duran is only going to spice it up.
It certainly is, and it's only possibly going to take a mistake from Duran. Hopefully there's no mistake off the restart, and it could be these guys would take full advantage of it. Big thanks to you people tuning in on Wheelybins TV and watching this series, Venom Series Race 2 of round number 4. Big thanks to our sponsors, West End Mazda and Limelight Motorsport. Thanks for these guys for helping us out with the series, providing the prize money and other prizes as well throughout the series that we've had. Some awesome fun, and so far in the championship, Duran is our championship leader, but only by a margin, so tonight's points are going to be a big benefit for him, and Jamie's going to be wanting to get up there and get some of those points too, sitting in position 2. Kyle Stokes has moved his way back up to position 8 after taking that pit stop before the safety car has paid huge dividends for him. That's great. Currently sitting in 3rd is Harley Haber, Damien McKnight in 4th, Michael in 5th, Greg Hamilton in 6th, Wade Michael in 7th, Kyle 8th, Colby in 9th, and Warren Gilbanks in position 10.
With them all bunched up now, a few of them would have taken that opportunity to get some fuel and get some tyres, so they'll be fresh for the battle. Front couple of cars didn't stop though, so they're going to be racing on a couple of laps old rubber and with fuel loads that, unless they've managed it well, are going to look quite dicey towards the end.
Yeah, this safety car is going to help, but only just for those cars that pitted a little bit earlier than the others. I think Duran was one of the first cars in of the front runners there, so he's the one that's going to be possibly hurting the most. Jamie McKnight was probably the winner, pitting the latest out of the battle pack there. It should be good for fuel to the end. Harley and Jacob, those two will be a bit of an if and in between as to whether they've got enough to get to the end of the race.
If Kyle can make quick passage through these other drivers, I reckon he's the biggest winner from that. But that's going to make a quick clean passage through them.
For sure. As we said, the lights have gone out on the safety car. They will be go this time over the line. Instead of just dropping back, leaving a bit of space there as the safety car gets ahead. See Harley there just looking for those gaps to see whether he's going to be able to dive up the inside of Jacob. Jacob's thinking the same for Duran. And Jamie's just sitting there planning his escape route as to if it all goes wrong for the three in front, where's he going to go?
It's probably a lunchtime feast here at Road America, and they're all hungry and ready for the main course. Duran in control, setting off.
Great jump at the start there for Duran. Managed to get a good advantage there over Jacob.
It'd be good to see who sticks with him in these opening laps.
Oh, as we see is Michael on the outside of Jamie there on turn 1. A little bit of a touch. Lucky there was nothing sinister involved there.
That was willing. Had to make the dive, and thankfully no one came off second best.
A little bit of gaggle of cars back in around 13th, 14th, 15th.
Harley is just pressing on the back of Jacob at the minute. See on coming down here into turn 5.
Whoa, Jacob's just taken it out wide. Allowed Harley to get in underneath.
I think that's exactly what Harley wanted. He wanted to apply the pressure down the straight there and really see if he can intimidate Jacob into making mistakes. So that's worked quite well for Harley there.
Yeah, as Jacob was lucky to get away with that. Just a bit of a lock-up running wide on that corner. Hasn't cost him too much time.
As long as he keeps Jamie at bay, he'll want to get back onto the back of Harley and see if he can cause him to make the same sort of mistake.
Harley's restarted this race with some real aggression here. Sitting right up on the back of Duran. Oh, as he runs wide, we see Jacob run wide. Both of them very lucky to get away with that.
Not the fastest line through there. 4 wheels on the road is the better way.
Surprisingly, didn't quite hurt him in distance. Still,
He's still close up to Duran here, so it hasn't hurt him a bit. He's rat-tat-tatting on his back bumper at the moment, so he wants this.
He does is he's dived back into the slipstream of Duran, right up behind him. Oh, so close into Duran. Duran's pushing. This could end in tears. They both give space. Duran pushes. Wow, that was exciting.
And now Harley's going to be susceptible to Jacob here, so he's going to have to calm himself down, take a few deep breaths and get right back into that battle, because he's definitely got the speed to be up front tonight.
Really great to see Harley here putting this effort into the race. We just see a little pinch of the rears there as he comes into the corners, forced him to run wide. Gonna get no bad run. We'll see Jacob step up the left-hand side into this left-hand corner. Harley's managed to regain that quite well.
Covered that off nicely, but this will be giving Duran a bit of a break. So these three will go back into that battle we had earlier, and Duran will just skip away quietly.
Yeah, that little bit of pressure there on Duran might have hindered his lap times a little bit, allowing Harley to stay on that bumper. Now he's got some breathing space. Already he's got 1.5 seconds on Harley. That's a big gain. He'll step that out, no doubt. See, Michael has stepped up into position number 5. Great gains there from him. Now chasing onto the back of Jamie McKnight. Kyle Stokes, after that disappointing start for him, is back up into position 6. Great effort for him. I guess he's close to field to the end with some fresh tyres. He's got the eyes on and he's made some really great gains in the last 10 laps to be able to get back up to this point in the race.
He'll want to be pushing on the back of Michael pretty severely. He'll want to get by. He'll want to get close to the back of Jamie and get a few points back.
To see McHale's back in position 8th with Warren Gilbanks in position 9, Wade Michael into position 10. Great effort once again from Wade Michael. I think he pulled a position 10 last week at Giles Villeneuve. Great effort from him, and he's in position 10 again tonight with Matthew Belton sitting right on his bumper. He's hungry to get past. We see Wazza Gilbanks take out into the kitty litter.
Definitely not the fastest way around the line there.
Slowed him up. It's put Matthew right up on the back of Warren now.
Battle is going to come alive with these two as we just see Warren let. Not sure if he's letting him by or he's just making him work for it.
I think he might be letting him by, but trying not to allow Matthew to get past as well, but he's had to step through on the outside.
Side steps them both now, and
Great move there by Matthew.
now Wade and Matthew will push on with this.
You see back in position 12 and 13, Tyson and Shane. Shane really needs to get a wiggle on here in this late stage of the race if he wants to regain some points to look at getting that number 3 step back on the podium in the championship. I mean, suffering a little bit tonight with car speed there.
Thankfully, it looks like Tyson's investing in one of those genuine Holden water pumps, so he hasn't blown it up yet. So he's tracking along good in 12th there.
Great to see Tyson finally have a win at one of these events. Jason Lee, who's been in and had that car repaired from that damage earlier on, in position 14. Didn't have great luck this week, and this week's race hasn't panned out the greatest for him either, but doing well there in position 14. Greg Hamilton's been moved back to 15 and Russell Baldwin in position 16. Looks like we may have seen a couple of retirements. Sam Flintham looks to have been sitting in the pits for quite a while and possibly retired. Frank Speed, Brendan Ryan, Warren Cook, Adam Utri, and Ian Willie and Zach Best. Matthew, that's us there at the end. Well, of course, we didn't start the race. So, unfortunate for those. Sam was actually on for a good result here tonight. Something must have happened there earlier on for him to have to leave the race. Harley hasn't really let Duran get away there. We were talking 1.3 seconds earlier. That gap's closed back up again to 0.5 as we see Harley
he just runs off.
Just got that gain back on him again and made a mistake on that turn. Giving Jacob that advantage back to get number 2 position. Stellar race from Jacob here tonight. He's done awesome sitting there at the pointy end all night. Little bit of a disappointing run last week. He got 3rd position, but finished it a little bit further back than what he was expecting. But stellar race from him tonight.
He's had a great race tonight, and he's always been up the front, and he's been able to battle it out with Jamie and Harley, and really keep pushing them and himself. It's been quite a good race. He's been able to avoid a few incidents and keep pressing on. So, like you say, Duran hasn't skipped away from them as much as I thought he would have, and maybe he is fuel conscious to the end.
That's what I'm thinking, being that he was one of the first of the front runners to pit. He will be looking at that fuel number. No doubt it's probably thrown a bit of a spanner in the works. Of course, Jamie McKnight, one of the last ones out of the top 5 to pit. Probably a little bit more safe with fuel, but I reckon all these guys are probably playing a little bit safe because I'm not too sure on the fuel numbers here, but they could all be having to look for a splash and dash towards the end.
Sometimes it's going to be easier if you can just get right up onto the back of that preceding car. Might be able to get in the slipstream and save yourself a few tenths. Does mean following your competitor pretty closely, and it will give you a fuel yield, a slight one at that.
As we see the man who's sitting in position 3 on the championship, Kyle Stokes, now moved up into position 5. Another great effort from him tonight, who make his way from the back of the pack after a disappointing first lap and having to get those repairs done on that car earlier on. Now sitting just 2.7 seconds behind Jamie McKnight.
A good story from tonight is being able to find his way back from where that unfortunate first lap put him. To come back, that safety car no doubt would have helped. But that lap speed is what got Cole there tonight.
A couple of changes back in the pack also. Shane being able to get past Tyson to position 9. Jason Lee's moved up to position 11. Big chase on there with 3 seconds behind Tyson. He'll be looking to gain that position and get himself up into the top 10. Will be good points for him. Michael back in position 13 after a good run earlier on. I think he may have taken a pit stop during that safety car and dropped him back a little bit and hasn't been able to really recover since then. Also been in for a pit stop, second pit stop actually, looking at the pit timing. Michael's been in for a second pit stop. The other cars that have been in for 2 pit stops is Kyle Stokes is the only one in the top 5 who's done those 2 pit stops, so that could possibly help him. Mikhail's also been in for his second pit stop in number 7. There's a lot to play here for these guys. Maybe there's some of this strategy.
Jacob and Harley both pitting. So this is going to put it on for Jamie and Duran and even Kyle. Who's going to have the better fuel load?
Yes. Don't forget Duran pitting 2 laps prior to Jamie.
And Kyle the last one to pit of all of them.
Very interesting result. So those guys, considering Jacob and Harley pitted a lap after Duran. Duran must be really conserving some fuel here. Lap number 20.
Massive margin.
Well, it's not too massive if Kyle's able to survive till the end of the race on his pit strategy at the moment. He could be looking for a win here.
He's going to eat that gap up really quickly.
Jamie McKnight also sitting there in second. You see the lap timer, lap number 23 to go, 22 laps here. 22, yeah, 3, so two and a half laps to go in this race. Race leader's really putting down some times. He put a 2:06.5 down last lap. Sorry, a 2:07.4. Certainly not slowing down as we see some wheel spin leaving that corner. Certainly looks like he's trying to put himself ahead a little bit there, get a gap.
Might be trying to take that pit stop and negate losing any time. We'll see as he comes by this time round.
Into pit lane.
He's in the lane.
Gonna have to get a splash. We'll see if Kyle and Jamie follow suit. Jamie's gone through.
Jamie doesn't.
Kyle's gone through also. Wow, what a battle for the end of the race here. It's all come down to some early on pit strategy with that safety car being thrown in. Has made a mess of some of these guys' strategy for the race.
I wonder if Kyle's going to hold a grudge against how he ended up in the wall on lap 1.
Knowing these two guys, they're pretty respectful racers. Hopefully we'll see a nice clean battle. Kyle's definitely got some speed over Jamie though. I think Jamie's dialed it back just a bit to save some fuel. We see Kyle right up on the bumper. He looks like he's down the inside. Great move there. Jamie just steps aside, lets him through.
Great pass there by Kyle. Jamie respectful of it and lets him through a little bit easier. Making him work for it, no doubt.
2 laps remaining in this race. Finish this one off. They will be on the final lap.
Interesting to see if these two are desperate for fuel. I don't think Kyle needs to pit.
There is chat on the race radio about fuel strategy. Not too sure who that came from. My guess is here is Kyle's definitely got the better strategy for the race after that disappointing start. And Jamie's just going to have to... Yeah, there's talk on the race radio about the safety car throwing this spanner in the works.
Kyle and Jamie go on with it, so it looks like they're going to be fine if they can get one more lap out of it.
Final lap here at Road America. Great story here for Kyle. Disappointing first lap. Damage to the car, back to the rear of the field, fought his way back through with an awesome pit strategy, pitting just before the that safety car. Just managed him to give him just enough fuel to make it through till the end of the race. So far,
it looks as though that that lap 1, they've set him up for a decent race here. Looks as though Jamie slipped back just a touch now, so he may be trying to save that fuel and make sure he doesn't get swallowed up by the preceding cars.
yeah, Mikhail's still sitting 10 seconds away from Jamie McKnight, Matthew Belton, another 10 seconds behind that, so there's a fair few gap between the top 4 cars. Final lap here though for Kyle Stokes in the Autobahn Holden Commodore.
He just sets now down into the King and down onto the Kettle Bottoms sort of curve for the last time. If Mikhail can hold on, that's going to be a great result for him to pick up a podium.
Yeah, and a great boost to his points in the championship as well. You see Kyle cross the line, take the checkered flag. Your winner of race 2, round number 4, here at the Road America, Kyle Stokes. Absolute stellar effort. Jamie McKnight picking in position number 2. And Mikhail very happy with a position number 3. Absolutely awesome race here tonight.
Great result from the top 3 here tonight as Kyle just does a bit of a burnout for us.
As we hear the guys pulling up on the back straight there. Awesome race, guys. Got Daniel and Matt here in the commentary box. Kyle, what a stellar effort tonight, mate. Bad luck there in the first race, but you've capitalised and dominated in the end.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate with the start and first lap and stuff, but put my head down and just worked with the fuel because I knew the fuel was going to be close, and yeah, just tried to get a good result and got lucky with it in the end.
Yeah, awesome result, man. Great race. Jamie managing to get the second there, saving fuel in those last couple of laps we see.
Mate, I was saving the fuel for the minute I left the pit box, guys. I realised from reading the rules there was going to be a safety car, so I thought it hadn't happened by by the mid-race, and I actually extended my fuel in the first stint by another lap, so did Kyle. So we didn't come into lap 11, so I knew that if there was a safety, I'd have to try and save 2 laps of fuel. And I'll tell you what, it was hard work because it was really tempting. I had the pace to go with the guys in front, but I just knew that if I did, I'd be out of fuel. So I crossed the line with 0.1 litre. Kyle did a magnificent job saving the fuel. His strategy was identical to mine, but he had more fuel than me. So congratulations to him, and a special well done to Mikhail. his first podium in the Venom series. He races with us from a long way away, so we all love having him. Well done. And hard luck to Duran, because he deserved the race, and same as Owen and Jake.
Yeah, stellar effort, absolutely fantastic. And Mikhail, if you're still on the channel, man, great race from you. Any words of wisdom tonight?
None really. Thanks, Dan, and Jamie, and everyone else for organising this. And
I think the car's too busy doing burnouts.
sorry. Thanks all.
Fantastic race. I do just want to go over to Jacob, actually. Jacob, who had a great race tonight, also sitting in position 2 there. Pit strategy didn't quite work out for you tonight, mate.
Yeah, I was talking to the boys just then. I think that strategy ruined us because I was in for a podium then. It was a fun race. Well done to Duran and Jamie for the battles along as well. Congratulations to Kyle on the race win as well.
Yeah, great effort, and it was very exciting to watch. That's for sure. Tyson managed to get a position 6 tonight. You obviously fitted yourself a decent water pump before tonight's race and finished the race. Well done, man.
Yeah, it was tough, and I wasn't going to make the same mistake I did at Bathurst, where I didn't box under the safety car and saved as much fuel, and then had a good battle there with Chief in the end and held off the Wolf. So, whoop whoop, happy with that.
And another notable mention tonight, Jason Lee, if you're still on the channel, hopefully. Great race from you tonight. A little bit of damage there earlier on, but better than last week's result, getting in number 8.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Thanks for the race, fellas. Good battle, Michael. Yeah, right. Sorry, guys.
Well done, guys. Thank you very much. Awesome race here tonight, Matt.
Great race, and kept me on the edge of my seat. That was for sure. It was great to see Kyle get the win, and Jamie just sort of slot in there to second, and a great result for Michael from 8th to 3rd was a top job. So well done to all our podium getters tonight, and all the rest of the drivers through the rest of the field for pushing on and getting some good results.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a good mix up there, and the safety cars really threw the spanner in the works for some of the team's strategies. They weren't really expecting that, and having to save fuel there right towards the end. But it all came out in the wash, and it was another great race and a great win by Kyle. Congratulations to him.
Absolutely, it definitely mixed it up a bit.
Yeah, so we'll be back again next week for more entertainment here on Wheelybins Mayhem Republic Wheelybins TV. I'm not too sure where we're going next. The schedule master hasn't worked that out for us yet, so no doubt we'll find out during the week where we're going to next for the rest of the Venom series. Fantastic no idea from Road America though. I couldn't have hoped for a better race. I knew it was going to bring in some big guns and some big racing, so I'm glad it did.
Yeah, track selection tonight, along with the race we had with the length and the safety car in the middle, definitely mixed it up and made them work for it. So it was great tonight, and it should be great next week as well, wherever we'll end up in race 3 of round 4 of the Venom series.
Certainly will be. Big thank you to our sponsors once again, West End Mazda and Limelight Motorsport, for making this all possible. Don't forget, if you'd like to get involved with any of this, check us out at our website, wheelybinsmayhemrepublic.com. You'll find all information about our hosted sessions, how to join in. Check out our rules. Also, you can make a donation through that page, which also helps us with contributing with these broadcasts and these events. We've got another big events coming up next month with the Endurance Series, so that'll be broadcast here, all on Wheelybins TV. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and you won't miss any of the action. Thank you once again for joining me tonight, Matt, in the commentary box.
No, it's great to be here, Dan, and thanks for putting on the broadcast. You always do such a good job with it.
Thank you very much, and thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you all again next time on Wheelybins TV with thanks to Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. Good night, everybody.